City News, The 5, right now.
You think American-style politics is nasty? You guys have just attacked Kuwait. And you will never, you'll never see something that you have, mark my words, friends, this is going to be outright war.
What are you going to do to try and save your political life on the floor today?
And that was Rob Ford just moments before he was stripped of his power as the mayor of Toronto. The keys to the castle have been handed over to Deputy Mayor Norm Kelly, who now joins us live right here on The 5. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's my pleasure.
Yes, the man with the power now. I just want to touch on what Richard Southern was saying there about borrowing costs going up and going forward so far as development in this city, the Scarborough subway, other subways. There's a concern there, isn't there?
Well, there should be a concern, but I think that concern can be answered by showing the markets that the government of the City of Toronto is in good hands and that we've stabilized the situation.
How do you show them that, though?
Well, I think they showed them that by taking many of the powers of the mayor over to the deputy mayor and to council, so that those powers are stable. And the people who are wielding them are predictable and reasonable and rational in their approach.
So sort of a calming effect, you might
Absolutely.
say.
Absolutely. So what are your priorities now to try to get council back on track?
Well, the first thing we did, or the first thing I did, was to assemble a good team, because no one governs alone. You have to have people who have skills, enthusiasm, and a desire to serve not only the office of the deputy mayor, but my colleagues on council, and through them, the residents of the City of Toronto. So I've got a good team. I hope it's like the Leafs. I've got veterans, a nice blend of veterans and rookies.
You've also got an enemy now who used to be a friend in Mayor Rob Ford. I mean, he was your choice for deputy mayor. What's it going to be like going forward now, sort of on the other side of the table, and still trying to work with him?
Well, you know, I hear his rhetoric, the bombast of his rhetoric.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that he's venting, and that after he's vented and the volcano subsides, then...
Do you really think the volcano is going to subside?
Well, I would hope so.
We all hope so. But
and if and when it does, I'd be more than pleased to sit down and work with them. If it doesn't, I think council's decisions of the last couple of days have isolated him in political terms. He was in many ways a lone wolf councillor and may turn out to be a lone wolf mayor, but without the capacity that he would have had formally to interrupt the business of council.
Now, the locks, they have been changed, but you have this open invitation that you would like Rob Ford to be able to come back in and integrate himself again when appropriate.
Well, he has his office through which he governs according to the statutory power bestowed on him by the province of Ontario. And presumably I don't have access to that office as it stands right now. I have what was the other half of the mayor's office, called the fishbowl, because it's got all that glass in front. So that's where my staff will be housed, and as well there'll be spillover to some of the empty offices just on the second floor just to the east.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to go back a bit here, Norm. 25 years or so, you ran for mayor of Scarborough.
I did.
You did. Back when I worked for Scarborough Cable, back in those days.
Now, remember my advice to my supporters? Vote early, vote often.
Let's say this goes well as deputy mayor. Are you interested in running?
No.
So that's a flat-out no?
Yes.
Why not?
Because I think that my job is to be an interim leader, and to bridge this council with the next. And there are some pretty good candidates out there, or potential candidates.
And they're all breathing a sigh of relief right now that they know you're not running.
Well, what direction would you like to see the city go now? There are major priorities. We saw the TTC fare, that being approved, that hike's going to be going up. Is that something that you also were on side of? Well,
I've served on the TTC a number of terms. I also served on Metrolinx in its founding years. So I would bring that experience to bear on the item. I haven't seen the arguments up close on behalf of or in opposition to the fare increases. But whatever the issues are, I'd want to approach them with an open mind and make sure that my staff provide me with the detailed analysis that would allow me to comment with some insight on these matters.
Norm, we're almost out of time. I just want to ask you, is the circus over in your mind, or should we expect more?
No, I think the majority of it is over. There may be outbursts from time to time.
That's a qualified answer. Because you don't know, do you?
Most of us have never seen this before, even
Including
those of
us.
us who've
Including
been in
us.
politics for a long time. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find yourself grasping for words.
Deputy Mayor Norm Kelly, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank
All
you
right,
for the
good luck
invitation.
going forward.